Hi, I'm Marguerita, and I'm getting ready to start my newest organizer, and this one is going to be out of some very soft felt-like material. It was a gift bag, and I'm going to use some stiffener. I decided I'm going to cut it the exact shape of the square of the front and the back, and probably even put a little bit of stiffener on the inside of all of this here to help the baggies stay stitched in as well. Now, I thought about this for a while, and I thought, you know, this stiffener, it's just kind of plain white. If you've never seen it before, you can bend it pretty easily, but it's definitely a stiffener, and that'll help it sort of lay flat. This is going to be for my granddaughter, so she'll be able to open it up, kind of like a soft book. And but I don't want the plain white on the inside, so I was thinking I might go find some really pretty material, something that goes with the red felt, and even dig through my scrap bucket for a piece of elastic. I was thinking about putting an elastic pocket right on the inside, so if this were the inside of it, put the stiffener here, and then halfway put an elastic type pocket and sew that all down before I adhere it to this little bag for her. And that way, she's only 4, but something that she could put her hand into and maybe stick a little toy or something inside there. I just can't wait to get started. Okay, I'm gonna go dig around for materials. I'll see you back in a minute. So here's the little bag. Look at that. It's just felt with this embroidery design, which has these shimmery little beads and sequins. Aren't they great? So it's a little bit on the soft side. I'm going to have to play with that. But look, I'll just do one. Perfect. Okay, my little bag, the front part of it measured 8 inches by 8 inches, roughly. And I'm a roughly kind of gal. So I cut my stiffener, 2 pieces, 8 inches by 8 inches, and I got a little strip for the bottom portion. Now, my fabric, this is some fabric I used on a project for my granddaughter before, and she just loves the floral look. So I'm going to use this, and I'm not going to cut it 8 by 8. I'm actually going to cut it bigger and just press it and fold it over and then stitch it all the way around all 4 sides, just along the edges, because then I can turn it right side out and just have the fabric on this portion, and then I'll stitch that to the inside of the bag. While I was digging around for stuff, sure enough, I found some elastic. I've got my elastic in this bag, every size you can imagine, but this is the size I'm looking for, this thinner strip right here. So that'll help build me my pocket. And I even found some leftover Velcro from another project. I think that might help with building a closure. Maybe just put a little tab right here or something like that to help keep it closed for her. So, cutting and sewing fabric. Okay, here are my cutout pieces, and I found actually a flaw in the fabric, so I'm going to just skip over that. Again, this is not rocket science here. I just am going to give myself about 1 inch all the way around and then just cut the fabric. Now, I pressed it and heavily starched it. I'm a big believer in starch, and it really stabilizes the fabric so well. And again, we're calling this good enough, and cut that off. And sure enough, it won't cut cleanly. I don't really care. It's not perfection. So here's what I opened up the bag and cut it. Now the sides, remember, it went about like this because it was a little gift bag. So I cut down here, and then I cut across the bottom to open it up so that it goes flat. So once I have my fabrics cut out and wrapped around the stiffener so that it's all wrapped around, I'm going to sew all the way around these edges just to stabilize it, and then I'm going to stitch it, the finished one, onto each side, here and here. Now before I do that, I'm going to make my pocket. So I've got my pieces sewn to my stabilizer and loose threads everywhere. Made a little pocket, not the greatest thing in the world, but you know, my granddaughter's 4. She's gonna love it. She's not real picky about my sewing. So I'll sew these down, just kind of going around the same edge where I stitched the fabric. And then I'll move into the middle piece and bring in the bags. I can hardly wait. This is almost done. Okay, I'm sewing my bags 2 at a time, and they're overlapped like this. So one of the zipper tabs is over here and one is over here, and 2 different colors. So I lined up the bottoms, and what I'm doing here on this piece is not sewing right at the edge of the stiffener. I'm coming in about more than 1/4 of an inch. The reason for that is because when I'm done sewing, I'm going to sew 6 bags to this strip of stiffener 2 at a time, and when I'm done, I want to be able to sew on the edge of the stiffener to put it inside of the little handle bag that I'm making. So let's get the bags sewn onto the stiffener, and I can show you more about how I'm going to put it inside. There's 2. Okay, so there's my bags sewn on to the bit of stiffener in groups of 2 to each row of stitching, and they would look like that if they're empty. So now my next job is to trim these threads off, but take this bit of stiffener and stitch it down just on the outside, so this side, and then flip these guys over, and see this little bit that I left over here, stitch that down too. And I might even take some stitches in between here in the rows to secure even more. So let's go do that. Okay, all sewn in. There's the back side. You can probably just barely see the rows of stitching there, filled with bags, and gorgeous cover. Oh, and here's the handles. I know there's people out there probably cringing from the combination of the red felt and the floral interior, but I don't care. I never can pick colors well, and my granddaughter's not going to care either. We both love both of these colors, whether they go together or not. So, one more thing. I took a look, and when you hold this so that it's almost closed, you can see that there's still some space here. And guess what that's for? Remember that Velcro? I'm going to cut a strip, maybe here to here, just about 3, maybe 4 inches or so, and put that on, and that way when she holds it, instead of it just kind of being a floppy bit like that, it'll stay a little bit secure up at the top. So one last bit of sewing.